This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Consult with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions.
Welcome to the Wire Broker Edition, the week in real estate, presented in digestible bites. Hold on while our AI hosts take us on another ride through this week's top real estate headlines.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive Wire, listeners.
Great to be back.
Today, we're really zeroing in on some key shifts happening right now in the real estate market. Stuff that directly impacts you, the broker owner.
Yeah, we've been digging through earnings reports, news on mergers, the whole private listings debate.
And agent movement, too. Trying to pull out what you really need to know to stay ahead.
Consider this your essential briefing.
Exactly. Our mission isn't just to list the facts, but to, connect the dots. What does it all mean for your business?
Offering maybe a perspective you hadn't considered yet.
Okay, let's dive right in. First big theme, consolidation. It feels like the background hum just got louder, right?
Definitely. Anywhere real estate's Q1 earnings call really stirred the pot.
They reported, $1.2 billion in revenue? Sounds good on the surface.
It does. But they still posted a net loss, $78 million.
Right. An improvement, yes, but still loss. And what really grabbed me was CEO Ryan Schneider.
His comments, yeah.
He basically said, look, industry consolidation is inevitable, his words, and that the industry could use more streamlining.
It's a strong statement from a major player. But here's the interesting part.
Go on.
Well, he mentioned M&A activity has been kind of limited, mainly in mortgage this year. But if you look lower down...
At the actual brokerage level.
Exactly. Things are happening. Take Century 21 Sheets, merging with Century 21 Breeden in Indiana.
That's a big one. Creates the largest C21 franchise there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Over 420 agents, 10 offices.
And they specifically talked about the benefits, better sales support, marketing resources, those crucial mortgage and title connections. Real tangible stuff.
And not just them. Cooper Sotheby's in Austin merging with Port Aransas Realty.
Right, expanding into the Texas coastal bend. That wasn't just random. They said it formalized a long partnership. It's strategic. They see opportunity there that resort destination growth.
So the big corporate M&A might be simmering, but broker-to-broker consolidation, these strategic mergers, they're happening now.
Precisely. It's less headline grabbing maybe, but potentially more immediately relevant for our listeners.
So the question for you listening is, are these mergers just the beginning? Should you be thinking about strategic partnerships in your own market?
Yeah, what could that look like for you? Economies of scale, better resources. It's food for thought. Definitely worth considering your own position.
Okay, let's shift gears. Topic 2, and this one's generating some heat. Private listings.
Oh, yeah. Contentious is putting it mildly.
Anywhere Schneider touched on this too. He seemed to lean towards broad public distribution. Good for buyers, good for sellers.
He did acknowledge a niche role, maybe for luxury, but the overall vibe was pro-public listing.
Which makes a contrast with eXp Realty's CEO, Leo Pareja, even more striking.
Absolutely. Pareja isn't just cautious. He's strongly, strongly opposed to private exclusives.
He's talking moral and legal risks, potential fair housing issues, class action lawsuits from sellers.
Serious stuff. And AXP isn't just talking. They rolled out a new pre-marketing disclosure form. They even endorsed Zillow's pro-MLS stance.
His argument is basically pushing private listings helps the brokerage's inventory, not necessarily the consumer.
That's the core of it. He worries it leads to a system where only a few big players win.
And then you've got this other spat boiling over, Windermere and Compass.
Right, the NWMLS situation. Windermere seems genuinely confused by Compass's claims of collusion.
Their point is, hey, we're a franchisor. Our individual franchisees sit on the NWMLS board, not us directly.
It highlights the complexity. Meanwhile, Compass is suing NWMLS over restrictions on pre-marketing and private exclusives.
Compass argues their strategy, that three-phase marketing thing, actually helps sellers. Avoids the days on market stigma, they say.
But Windermere pushes back hard. They say it creates a secretive network, lacks transparency, and isn't fair for the market overall.
The surprising insight for me in all this, it's just how strong XXP's pushback is.
The legal and ethical flags they're raising?
Yeah. It's not just a business model difference. Pareja is framing it as potentially harmful and risky. That's something broker owners really need to weigh.
Definitely. It forces you to think. How are you advising your agents on listing strategies? Are you comfortable with the potential risks involved with private listings in your market?
Are you prepared for those conversations and, well, the potential consequences?
It's a crucial point. You need clarity on your brokerage's stance and the why behind it.
All right, let's move to our third theme, agent attraction and retention, always critical.
Always. And there's some fresh data out. A report looked at agent moves across 4 big MLSs, represents like 30% of U.S. agents.
Okay, so a decent sample size. What did it find?
Well, tech-enabled firms are really standing out. Brokerages using tech effectively to help agents be more productive. They're pulling in agents with almost double the median sales volume.
Double!
And get this, they were the only brokerage type that didn't have a net loss of agents last year. Compass and Real were mentioned specifically.
So agents, especially productive ones, are voting with their feet for better tech integration.
It seems so. Then you have the capped revenue sharing models.
Popular, right? Draws agents in.
Attracts them, yes. But the report also showed high churn. Lots of agents coming and going.
Suggests maybe the initial appeal wears off? Or issues with onboarding, culture, support, maybe?
Could be any of those. It's a potential warning sign hidden in the growth numbers.
What about traditional firms? Standard commissions, office structure?
Still very relevant. They attracted agents with the second highest median sales volume among movers and actually had a net gain of agents.
So brand recognition, stability, support, those still hold significant weight for many agents.
Absolutely. It shows there isn't just one model winning. Different agents value different things.
But the report also mentions something about market share consolidation among firms attracting agents.
Yeah, that was interesting. Just 2% of firms, mostly the big national brands, accounted for over half of all the agent gains and losses.
Wow. So the big are getting bigger, at least in terms of agent movement.
It reinforces that scale and brand power are major factors right now.
So Wire listeners, what's the message here for your brokerage?
It seems clear agents are looking for a strong value proposition. That might be cutting-edge tech that boosts their bottom line.
Or it could be a compelling financial model, or maybe strong brand support and resources, or a combination.
And don't forget culture and support, especially given that churn data for some models.
Are you really looking at what you offer? Is it competitive? Is it what top producers in your market are looking for?
Are you actively asking them? Understanding their pain points and what they need to succeed, that seems crucial.
Okay, let's try and wrap this up. We've covered quite a bit. Financial shifts, consolidation happening at the local level.
That really intense debate over private listings, with some serious ethical questions raised.
And these clear trends in what's attracting and keeping agents.
So what's the big takeaway for you, the broker owner listening right now?
I think it boils down to proactive adaptation. You can't just sit back.
Agreed. Understanding these currents, understanding the risks and opportunities, that's paramount.
Whether it's thinking about strategic partnerships,
Reevaluating your stance and guidance on listing transparency,
or making sure your tech and support really meet the needs of today's agents.
staying informed, staying agile. That's how you navigate what's coming down the wire.
Which brings us to a final question for you to chew on. Thinking about everything we've discussed, the consolidation, the listing debates, agent needs, what's one strategic adjustment you could realistically make? Maybe the next quarter or two.
Just one thing that could better position your brokerage, given these trends.
Something concrete to focus on. We really encourage you to think about how these themes play out in your specific market for your specific goals.
Thanks for tuning in for this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time.
If you're interested in your own personalized edition of The Wire, please visit us at thewire.fm/custom. We offer market-specific podcasts with all the latest real estate news and market analysis delivered to you weekly or monthly. Own your market with a personalized edition of The Wire, The Week in Real Estate. Thank you for listening.